This is the first time we did it live too, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's the same kind of thing, but
Good.
just, I guess, we're. Wow, we're going live, baby. I feel like Bruce Bumper. We're going live. It's time. We got a great guest on the show with us.
3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody, we are live for the first time doing our great show here, Get the Edge. I am Scott Matthews. I'm the host of the show, and we got a great guest on it with us this week, TK. We're bringing my man from the great far west, Mr. Troy West, on the show today with us. He'll be coming on in just a second. He's a great capper. He works hard. We like guys like that, and he's got some insights on some games. And I want to introduce to you, everybody, my partner in crime, who's with me on set. Teddy couldn't make it this week, just to give you guys a heads up. Teddy couldn't be on this week, but he may be on actually a little bit later on in the show. He's coming on a little later in the show, so we'll get him on here with some picks for you. But here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Tommy King, TK Wins.
Yeah, man,
What's up?
Great to be back again this week. I'm going to the Bahamas tomorrow, but when I get back, I promise you that dinner at What Runway. I made a reservation already, so we're good for next week.
Oh, man, I'm waiting for you guys with that. We had a little thing. We want to bring Troy on. Troy, we want to bring on the one and only Mr. Troy West. What's going on, brother Troy?
How we doing, guys? Yeah, I couldn't be further away from you guys. I'm at the top of the U.S. and you guys are at the bottom, and we got a hell of a USA game tonight, don't we?
Yeah,
Oh,
great
yeah.
game tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be that's the talk of the town, and that's the buzz in the sports world right now, Troy. I got to be honest with you. We didn't hear much about the NBA. I think the NBA has dropped a couple of levels, and the NHL has gone up. What a game tonight. It's going to be in an unbelievable place, too. Boston Garden. I mean, TD, what do they call it? TD Bank Arena, I think it is, whatever it may be. But what a place to hold the game like that. What's your thoughts on the way the NHL has put that together with the Four Nations tournament?
It's phenomenal. I mean, like you said, you wouldn't even feel like that they're playing for an all-star game tonight, right? It feels like they're playing for a gold medal. It feels like it's a Stanley Cup Game 7.
Yeah.
It does not feel like an all-star game. The one thing I don't like is the fact that these two teams played just on Saturday night. Obviously, the U.S. coming away with the big victory up in Canada. Hard to beat a team twice. They are coming back on home soil. They've obviously got the injury that hurt them a little bit in that meaningless game against Finland. But it's going to be a great atmosphere tonight. I'm looking forward to it. It's just interesting to me that they just played, just a few short days ago, and now they got to come back and play again tonight. But it very much feels like a gold medal game tonight. It does not feel like an NHL All-Star break by any means. So kudos to the NHL for getting this thing in a good spot.
You know, the funny thing about it, a lot of the players they're interviewing that are actually playing on both teams, they're calling it a Game 7 of a Stanley Cup type of magnitude game. That's what they're saying. They're thinking it. They're looking at this game as like the biggest game of their careers. Keith Tkachuk mentioned it. It's going to be one of the biggest games, if not the biggest game of his career. I mean, that's how intense this situation is tonight. So it's going to be cool. What's your thoughts, TK? I know you're a big hockey guy.
Ticket prices are soaring. I saw the prices today, man. It's just
Thousands.
It's more than the Stanley Cup game. I wonder if Trump's going to be at the game tonight. I wonder if Americans are not going to give no disrespect tonight. I guarantee they don't boo the Canadian national anthem tonight.
I don't know about that one, man. Boston, Boston's Boston. They may, you might hear a big chorus of boos.
That's true. Yeah, line right now is what? It's a pick 'em right now, 5.5 under 35. So I guess they're looking at a low-scoring game here tonight.
Yeah. Troy, are you a big hockey guy? Or I mean, I know you run your service. Do you give out hockey, a lot of hockey, or you kind of stay with the other sports?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just 4 short years ago, we got the Seattle Kraken out here, and they've made their stamp on Seattle. So they've definitely, elevated the city out here. But no, love the sport, love the physicality of it. Tonight, definitely leaning heavy on that under. That first game went 3-1.
Yep.
You guys have said it. The intensity level is going to be high. I expect both goal play to be good. This could be a race to 2, a race to 3, but I think 5.5 potentially too much. I'm really looking forward to tonight's game, but I think the defensive intensity and effort is going to be at an all-time high.
What's the over/under on fights on this game tonight? They probably got a prop on that, and will there be a fight before they drop the puck?
I think that's the $1 million question. My bet would be no, and the reason why is I think that in that first game, I almost want to say the gloves came off so early, and I think they're going to be focused more on the winning in this game than they are the fighting. It seems like in that first game they were so focused on the fighting. I think it'll be a physical game without a doubt.
Yep.
But I think both these coaches are going to say, "Hey, look, let's leave the fighting in the locker room. Let's leave that behind. Let's get out and win a ball game."
What do you think about it? You think they're going to be intense or intenser than the first game?
It's going to be an intense game.
Can it get any crazier than that?
Like Troy said, man, they're going to come out. They're going to be playing on pins and needles in this game. I'm trying to see who's the starting goalies here tonight.
It's got to be. It's got to be Hellebuyck, I think, for the U.S. Got to be. Probably Bennington for the other. For Canada. Do you have them in front of you?
I just looked. They don't have the starting goalies up yet. I was just there on Don Best.
I'm sure it's got to be Hellebuyck. I mean, the guy's, he's dynamite. I can't picture in the biggest game the best goalie for the team wouldn't be. I would say Hellebuyck and Bennington, but Troy, you know who's starting goalies on these games, or you don't have that?
I haven't. I was actually trying to look myself. I'm with TK. Haven't seen it yet, but regardless, I think we're seeing an under.
Let me ask you a question. Let's go role reversal now. The NBA, the product they put out the other day. I think I was sleeping with the NBA All-Star game. I mean, I don't know. I can't understand the logic there. I mean, if you heard Draymond Green's comments, he ranked it a 0 on a scale of 1 to 10, and he was knocking it like into the ground. I think Gary Bettman, the commissioner, and his team has put together a really strong product, and Adam Silver and his team better go back to the drawing board. What was your thoughts of that NBA All-Star game fiasco?
Well, fiasco, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, but you look at years past, I want to say years past was even worse. I mean, at least here you're getting all the superstars in one room. I like the idea of the quick games, first to 40. That at least quickened things up a little bit.
Yep.
But they've got to figure it out. I get it. You don't want to go into the middle of the season and have a guy like Wembanyama go out for the year, or a guy like Luka. Any of these guys, you can't afford them to have the injuries. So how do you put together a quality product that's going to have good effort in the middle of the season? I just don't think there's any way to do it. But yeah, it's a fiasco. It's a snooze fest without a doubt, but I'm not sure what the alternative would be either.
I think the alternative between you and me and all of us out there, I think the alternative would be something like similar to what the NHL did. You take the best players from outside the U.S. and Canada and put them together with the best players in the U.S., and you have a format and you go at it. I think that would be dynamite. I think it would bring.
I do too. I think the problem with the NBA versus hockey, I don't have the percentages in front of me, but the likelihood of an injury, probably a little bit less in hockey than it is in the NBA. I mean, if you lose a guy like Giannis or LeBron or SGA out of Oklahoma City, I mean, my God, they're having a dream season. Can you imagine losing him in a quick little mid break? It gets a little dicey there without a doubt.
Now, Wembley, he did play in the All-Star game. Now he's out for the season.
Wembanyama.
He's out for the rest of
Wembley,
the season.
that's in London.
I just call him the skinny guy.
The skinny guy.
Skinny guy in the Spurs. That's all I call him.
7'6" worth of skinny. Yeah. I mean, listen, this game tonight, like I said, I'm not going to talk much more about the NHL stuff, but this game tonight is going to have probably the biggest sports audience watching it. I mean, they're talking some serious numbers are going to be watching this NHL game tonight.
I mean, I think it's going to be dynamite. I mean, anytime you get two teams that highly dislike each other, they're playing for their country. I mean, there's just so much going at it, and it's the best of the best. I mean, these are the best players in the world. So, like you said at the start of the show, not often do you get to see this. I'll be curious if they mimic this format again next year, and this is something that we get every year, or if this is a one-off and we just need to enjoy it.
It might be good if they didn't do it all the time, because it brings the excitement level way up. If they do it once in a great while. If they do it all the time, it could wear off too,
Yeah, it's like
I agree. It's got kind of that World Cup feel to it.
Yeah, it's like the World Baseball Classic. They play every two or 4 years, and that's always excitement down in Miami and throughout the.
Yeah, I think if you take something and you run it into the ground, people get turned off maybe and bored with it after a bit. But I think if they keep it fresh, or they keep making some changes to it, it could keep it really exciting. What's your take? Also, you got the second half of the NBA. We're going to dig into some plays. I know you got some games you want to put out here a little later on in the show. We got this. My opinion, this time of the year is about as good as it gets for me. You got the end of college basketball. These teams are, all playing conference games, going into conference tournaments, into March Madness. You got the second half of the NBA. They're going to turn the Jets up there. I mean, in your years doing this, is this one of your best times of the year as far as getting a gauge on certain things? You like this time of the year as much as we do when it comes to the games, at this time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this is the time of the year where Vegas can make mistakes. On any given Saturday, you've got 50 to 60 college basketball games to handicap. You've obviously got the NBA, you've got hockey, you've got golf, you've got UFC. I mean, there's just so much to handicap. So as a sports bettor, now's the time, right? I mean, Vegas is so dialed in on those NFL lines, it can be tough at times. This is where handicappers got to step up and really find some bad lines for their clients and circle those babies and start making some money. It's a great time of year.
Well, that's the key to all of, T and I the same way. We're numbers guys. We're old school. We're looking for the edge. We're looking for numbers out there, and this is a good time of year where you can really get them. Don't forget the NBA's been on hiatus 6 days now. Now they're coming back tonight. So, a lot of players rested. A lot of guys, they don't gel as good as they could, or they could gel. Some teams start taking off in the second half of the season. So it's an interesting time of the year for the players. You got to be careful out there because they make adjustments on these numbers, and it gets a little more difficult, for the players to try to gauge on some of these games,
Agree. No, I absolutely agree. And that's why they got guys like you and I and TK to do it full time, right? There's a lot of cappers out there that are doing this part time, and you're just not going to get the same edge. You're just not going to get the same edge. So you got to have people really dialed in. There's stuff moving a mile a minute this time of year, and that's why I think the amateur bettors, they need guys like us to get them over the hump.
What's your take on the college basketball this time of the year? Is this a good time? This is you really dig deep into it because they're going into these tournaments and they're all playing against each other, conference games and stuff like that. You see a lot of numbers on these games that are different than they were earlier in the season.
Yeah, the bookmakers have been adjusting these numbers all year long. It's easier for them to adjust the numbers for the top 25 teams, but if you're looking at these other smaller schools,
I love the smaller schools.
It's hard to adjust those numbers. I mean, they're not watching them as much. I mean, I jump on some of these smaller schools. I mean, look at last night. I'm talking a smaller school. We're talking about basketball. Missouri upsetting Alabama last night. Crazy game last night.
Well, really, that wasn't an upset.
Yeah,
not really.
Actually, they were favoring Missouri, but
yeah,
that was
small
a big
favorite.
shocker. But
Troy, what's your take with college basketball? I mean, I know it's hard to gauge on 150 teams and try to follow them closely. Do you kind of do like we do? You get a basket of teams you follow them throughout the year and kind of stay on top of those teams mainly, or are you branching out in every direction when it comes to trying to pick these games?
No, you're right. I mean, I try to stay on the West Coast. I love obviously taking, the WCC conference, the Big 12, the Big Sky. I like looking at those conferences because you're right. I mean, the problem with college basketball and the product is you got 64 teams that make the tournament, right? So the teams like the Alabamas, the Auburns, the Dukes, they all know that they're in the tournament. They don't care if they're a 1 seed or a 5 seed.
Right.
So it's almost like they use the whole regular season to tune up. And then you got all the other teams, and it's like it doesn't matter how good you are in the regular season, you've got to win your conference tournament at the end of the year to get in. So you just see a lot of weird stuff. It's like 1 week the team wins by 20 on the road, and then they come back home and lay an egg and lose by 20. So I'm with you. I really like to pay attention to anywhere between 20 and 25 teams and really follow their stats, their trends, when they get up for games, when they don't, and try to pick my spots that way.
What's your take a couple of teams on the West Coast that look interesting that are starting to play a lot better? Obviously, right now they're in the zone. It seems like Gonzaga. You like teams like Gonzaga and St. Mary's when it comes to the big dance? You see those?
I do. As a matter of fact, Gonzaga was a sleeper that I picked at the start of the year. Their odds have dropped dramatically. You can get them almost 40-1 right now. But this is a good basketball team, really well coached. Obviously, Mark Few's been doing a long time. He knows how to win in the tournament. Hasn't won the big one yet, but he's in it every freaking year. And these guys are really tuned up and ready to go. They got another 20-point win last night on the road at Washington State. And that Washington State team's a pretty good basketball team. If you go look at UCLA losses, if you go look at Gonzaga's losses, they're all within 5 points. I mean, UCLA, they lost by 3 to 4 points. Santa Clara 3 to 4 points. Kentucky in overtime.
Yep.
They have a lot of close losses. They flip those into wins. This team's a top 5 team, so there's somebody to watch. St. Mary's plays some of the best defense in the country.
Yep.
Defense wins in the tournament. Those are 2 teams I like a lot to make deep runs.
Do you think they go deep?
I like them to go deep. I hope they don't get those first round matchups or first or second, I should say second round matchups. I'd hate to see a St. Mary's line up against an Auburn or an Alabama or somebody like that, or a Houston that's much more bigger and physical.
Yeah.
But I think if they get the right drop, both those teams can make runs.
Well, Auburn had a little scare last night. Calipari had his team ready for them with Arkansas. That game went right down to the end. Arkansas hung in there with the number 1 team in the country last night. They played them pretty damn good. So, you could see any given day, you get the right team with the right situation, you can beat the best team out there. I mean, last night was
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's an open field this year. A lot of people think it's a 2-man race with Auburn and Duke. I don't think so. It's an open field this year.
What's your take?
Yeah, it's gonna be a great March Madness here. You got some little teams out there too. It's funny how Troy watches the West Coast teams, and we're big on the SEC East Coast action.
Yeah, what about our St. John's here on the East Coast, Troy? What do you think the job Rick Pitino? I think he's a candidate for Coach of the Year this year in college basketball. What's your thoughts about the job he's done with that program in a short period of time? Here's a guy in his 70s turning that whole program around.
I love it. Yeah, I saw him and his son are a combined. This was going into yesterday, so now they're a combined 45-8. The son and Patino. What a job they've done.
Yep.
I love St. John's when they're good. Basketball's good, right? I'm really excited. That's a good physical team. Patino gets the best out of them each and every night. They don't seem to have letdowns against bad teams. They proved that last night against DePaul.
Yep.
That's another team I'm really excited about watching in the tournament.
Yeah, there's some real good situations. The team that's fallen off a little bit, and we'll move on, and we're going to get into some picks in a second. A team that's fallen off a little bit, probably both of you guys will agree with me, this Kansas team seems to be hitting a little brick wall. The other night they got blown out by BYU. That game wasn't close. I think they lost 9 games already this year. What do you think of what's going on with Kansas? They were a powerhouse team for many, many years, but it seems like they're falling off a little bit this year.
Yeah, I can't say why. I mean, they've got the talent. They've got veterans on this team. They've got Bill Self.
Yep.
They just don't seem to gel well, and they don't get up every night. It's like they knock off top 5 team, and then they go lose by 30 to BYU. Then they knock off a top 10 team, and they go lose again. It's like there's just no consistency with that team.
Yeah.
But can't like we talked about, they're getting in the dance. Or I can't imagine they don't get in the dance, and that's all they're worried about. And if they can clean up their act in the dance, they'll be okay. But I'm with you. They are falling quick right now. They're on the stay away list right now.
Who's your guys' pick right now to win the dance? If you had to throw somebody out there.
Oh, God.
I know what mine is right now.
Do you?
I switched it up.
Hold on. We got to get a drum roll.
A drum roll. You want a drum roll? Lights and lashes up. I love my Duke.
Okay.
I love Duke. But my outside chance to win this NCAA Final Four this year,
Florida?
Wisconsin Badgers, man. They're playing good ball right now.
Yeah.
They get that 3 dropping. They're starting to get the big boy inside.
Yeah, they're playing
Played
good.
great the other night. Blew them up by, 20-plus the other night.
I had them big on the weekend. They won as a
I've had them in
dog.
their last 2 games, man, and they're looking good, man. They get the 3s dropping. They get the inside going.
Yeah.
I don't think they can be beat.
Who else out of the Big Ten is? There's not much in the Big Ten, is there? I mean, Wisconsin, I think, is one of the best. Purdue. I mean, I think the SEC is going to dominate. They're going to have like double digits teams in that tournament, don't you think, Troy? The SEC conference got to have at least 10 or more.
SEC, without a doubt, has got notable teams. I mean, Kentucky still looks good. You got Tennessee; they're obviously solid. The Big Ten, it's tough. I mean, Tom Izzo, they've got Michigan State playing good ball. Like you said, Wisconsin's playing good ball. I still think UCLA's a good team, but they don't have necessarily the juggernaut. I like Houston too. Houston's playing really good basketball.
Oh yeah, I like
them. They got the big road win against Arizona.
Undefeated on the road too.
Yes, that team is tough. Sampson's got the DNA as far as coaching goes.
Yep.
They're great. I mean, but like you said, the SEC, boy, they're going to get a boatload of teams in there. Auburn, obviously, elite team. Florida, elite. Alabama, elite. Texas A&M, Missouri, Tennessee. I mean, you go up and on down the field. They've got several teams in the top 25.
Yep.
But my dark horse right now, I like TK's pick, but my dark horse right now, and that changes week to week, is Houston. Houston's playing really good ball.
I think you got something there. I think you got something.
Juwan Roberts is as good as it gets down low. I like Houston a lot.
Hey, listen, a team that's undefeated. I think they're the only team in the country that's undefeated on the road this year, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm missing something. But I think
That's
that,
impressive.
yeah, I mean, they've gone into some good buildings and won. They went into Arizona, and won. Arizona's been playing great, and the other day they won on the road. I mean, they're playing great basketball, both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. So they could be a tough out in the tournament, no doubt about it. Watch that Houston play, guys. I think Troy's got something going on there. All right, I want to talk a little NBA before we go into some picks. You guys have picks in the NBA and college for tonight?
I got a call. I got one in college, one in the NBA tonight.
Okay. What the second half of the NBA, Troy? Do you see changes? From the first half to the second half from your career of doing this. Do you see the big changes? Do you think that are made like right in the second half of the season? Are there certain things you're looking for in the second half that you didn't look for in the first half? Because you've had more time, obviously, to gauge on these teams. And do you think the intensity levels are going to go up, obviously, as the season goes longer?
Well, I do think I agree. The intensity levels will go up. There's certain teams that I'm keeping an eye on. The Golden State Warriors, they're sitting in that 10 spot right now. They made the trade for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler kind of looks like he's fitting in like a glove there. He looks good. Him and
Yep.
Curry are getting along. Draymond, they look like they're playing better basketball. So they're a team that they're sitting at 28 and 27. They're on the 10 spot. What are we going to get from them in the second half of the year? Another team that they look dead as anybody, but can they turn it around? Is the Philadelphia 76ers. They're sitting at 20 and 34,
Oh, God, yeah.
but they've got the roster, guys. They've got the roster.
If they play.
They're on the outside looking in. At the season ended today, they're not making the playoffs.
Yep.
So will they get going, or are they just going to mail it in? I don't know. Obviously, you've got your premier teams, the Cavaliers, the Celtics, the Knicks, the Pacers. On the west side, you've got the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, Oklahoma City. Those teams are making the playoffs. Seeding's obviously a big deal, but it's
Yep.
those teams that are on the outside looking in. Will they elevate their game and make their playoff run?
What's your thoughts, DK, about the Luka and LeBron situation? You think that's going to take them far or
that's
not?
one of the games I'm going to be using here tonight. The
Okay.
Lakers-Portland game.
They lost last night to Charlotte at home. They were a 12.5-point favorite, and they go down like the Titanic, sunk right in the middle of the court there. And LeBron had two chances at the end. He missed both three-pointers. But, I mean, the guy's amazing. 40 years old. I mean, what do you think of the way he's playing, Troy? The intensity level a guy 40 years old is bringing to the court, LeBron. I mean, there's one of a kind, I guess, generation guy.
Yeah, no, I'm not the biggest fan of his, but he's done a phenomenal job yet again this year.
You
That
sound
Laker
like
team,
Teddy.
they've got the talent. If they can get going at the right time in the playoffs, I don't hate their roster. I think they actually. I would have liked to have seen them get Williams from the Hornets. I think that trade being vetoed actually
Yeah.
hurt them a lot. If they
Yep.
could have had that physical presence down low, I would have liked it. They're sitting at the 5 seed. Give LeBron, Luca another at least 5 to 10 games to see if they can mold. I'm not going to rule that out quite yet.
Let me ask you, you think Cleveland, the Celtics, I'll jump them in the second half and become the best record in the East? Or you think it's about Cleveland just staying consistent and they'll win that Eastern Conference at this point?
Boy, when the Celtics get in that playoffs, that roster, they kind of seem like they're in, that title hangover this year. They're playing good basketball. They're not playing great basketball. They're just 17 and 10
Right.
at home this year. But I don't want to face that roster in the playoffs with the experience they have with Tatum, obviously, Jaylen Brown,
Yep.
Derek White, Porzingis. I can go on and on and on.
Yep.
I still think that the East runs through the Celtics.
I think you're right there. I think when it comes to, at the end of the day, even if it went to a 7-game series, I think the Celtics will find a way to beat the Cavaliers somehow, some way. I think they want to defend that championship and come back with another ring.
Well, it won't be my Milwaukee Bucks. They lost another player suspended here today for, I think, drugs or something.
Who was that?
Policy. I saw it on ESPN pop
Bobby
up.
Portis,
Yeah,
Bobby
you got
Portis.
Oh, and he's a key player to them.
Yeah, he is.
And
Yeah.
they played awful this last couple of weeks in the
All right.
in the first half.
I want to get into some plays, Troy. I'm looking at the board tonight. I see 9 games, first day back, basically. I mean, they had the 1 game last night, but there's 9 big games slated for tonight. Anything you're looking at on your mind that looks interesting for the audience to jump on tonight in the NBA?
Yeah, college basketball, a game I've got circled for you. Northwestern, they're on the road. They go into Ohio State. Nice little Big Ten matchup, 3:30 Pacific start, 6:30 Eastern. you're getting 10.5 points with Northwestern. This team's playing a little bit better basketball. I don't think the spread between Ohio State and Northwestern is worthy of 10 points. I was shocked to see this line. Northwestern, I get it, not a great team. They just choked on on Sunday against Nebraska. They blew the 18-point halftime lead. I look for Northwestern to keep this game close. 65-60. Ohio State probably wins the game, but I'll take 10.5 points with Northwestern tonight.
Okay. Anything you're looking at in the NBA?
Yeah, NBA tonight. I'm going with the Pacers at home. The Pacers, 14-8 at home. They've got Memphis. I get it. The Grizzlies are playing really good ball, but I'm getting 2.5 points tonight at home with the Pacers. I'll take the Pacers at home.
Okay. Are those best bets for you, or is that just solid?
Best bets. I'm not going to tell you to take
Okay.
it to the bank, but I like those two games today a lot.
All right. Let's hear what the big man over here has to say, Mr. TK from TK Wins.
Talking about the Lakers game here tonight. They're playing Portland tonight on the road. The Lakers -3. I'm going to jump on LA Lakers tonight, looking for them to come out big game here tonight, win this game by double digits.
You don't think the back-to-back with LeBron going to affect them?
And I know Portland's been playing great ball. They're 8-0 their last 8 against the spread at home. They're 11-3 their last 14 games are overall against the spread, and the home team has dominated this series. But I'm just looking for the Lakers to come out solid in this one and win this game, like I said, by at least double digits here this evening.
Okay. Anything else?
College basketball. I'm going with one of a little school here tonight. I'm going to go with Tennessee Tech tonight. At home tonight, they're laying 2 against Tennessee Martin. Look for Tennessee Tech to come out. They won the last matchup. They're 5-2 their last 7 against the spread. They should jump out here at home, take advantage of it here tonight. Tennessee Tech minus the 2 points here today.
All right. But those are what are you rating those games?
Those are my 2 best bets here for today.
I got to ask you guys a question. I don't see it too often, but did you see the total on Troy, the Memphis and Pacers game? 250.5. Wow.
Jeez, that's a big total.
It's an all-star game, man.
It's amazing. Every time you take the under on those, it goes over, and you take the overs on those, it goes under. I mean, those lines are just.
Have you seen a 250? I haven't seen a 250.
That's the highest I've seen in a long time in a regular season
I think
game.
I saw just a couple other ones with maybe I think the Suns were involved in a couple of those. But yeah, that's up there as the highest total of the year. I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one tonight. I mean, I think this is just going to be an old-fashioned ass kicker. I think Denver's going to blow out Charlotte tonight. I just like the way Denver's playing right now. I think they're one of the teams to definitely, obvious to watch in the West. I see them slowly getting better. They had a lot of guys banged up earlier in the season. Now they're all playing well again. You got Gordon playing well. Obviously, you got the big man. You got Jamal Murray. I mean, you got so many weapons. I just don't even see how a team like Charlotte can.
17 points on that number here tonight.
I'm showing 15.5.
Don Best live right now at 78. Troy, we talk about this on the show the last few weeks. In all years of betting on sports, have you ever seen so many double-digit favorites in the NBA in history?
No, it's crazy. I mean, I'm with Scotty. I could easily see a 20-point win, but that is crazy. I mean, the Hornets go on the road, get the win. The back-to-back roads, that's a tough travel. But yeah, that's another just monstrous line.
Do you think legal gambling's made a difference on some of these lines in these games? So much action on these games, raising them up a point and a half, usually.
I agree. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it seems like, and every book is so different too. I mean, the local books out here in Seattle, it's like they're just inflating numbers, especially on your futures bets. They dumb down the number. If you got to say it's 40-1 at DraftKings, the local book up here is like 25-1.
Yeah.
And so they're manipulating the line however they want to.
And it's funny nowadays. You go to the games, and you got these people in the stands screaming, "I need one more goal! I need one more goal!" And these players are going, you guys got to make one more free throw. If you're at the line right now, I got over under 25.5. I need one more free throw. Come on, man. It's crazy. You go to these games.
It is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Is that why sometimes I see an envelope sliding on the ground in front of these players? I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. But, hey, how about baseball? First game, not we're going to talk about.
Preseason starting today.
First preseason game. The Cubbies and the Dodgers. Wow, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Baseball's around the corner. You a baseball guy, Troy?
Huge baseball guy. Love spring training. I'm sad I'm not there. My beloved Seattle Mariners, I think, are going to be solid this year. One of the best pitching staffs in baseball. So, no, we absolutely love baseball.
Where does Seattle play their spring training? Arizona or?
Arizona, yep. Peoria, Arizona.
Same as the Milwaukee Brewers. They play out in Arizona. I've been out there a few times.
Yeah,
Yep. The Cubbies are out there. The Brewers, yeah, it's a great
I'll be heading
place
a
to
couple
watch.
games to the Red Sox play over here in Fort Myers. A nice little miniature Fenway Park. I'm gonna head over there for a couple of spring training games this year.
yeah, that'll be good.
Perfect.
That'll be
Perfect.
good. You go to games? You go to the Seattle games, Troy?
Oh yeah, at least 20 to 30 a year. Yeah, I'm a big fan of them. They've been a huge letdown for the last 25 years, but
Right.
this year's got some promise to it, without a doubt. If it weren't for the Dodgers, I'd say they have a shot at winning the whole damn thing.
Okay.
Um, but I don't think they've got the firepower to stick around with the
Well,
Dodgers,
we got a minor
unfortunately.
team, minor league team down here in Miami. They're called the Florida Marlins. I don't know if you ever heard
Yeah.
of them before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Double A.
yeah.
Not
Like you
even
said, could
Triple A.
always be worse if you're a Mariners fan, and the Marlins fit that criteria, I think.
Let me ask you something. In your years, how many years you been in the capping business, Troy?
20,
20 years.
no joke. I started doing this as a fun little hobby when I was 17. So
Okay.
fast forward 20 years later, this is where we're at.
All right. So let me ask you, in your career, what is your favorite sport when it comes to trying to make money for your players? What sport is your number one money maker when it
I
comes
would
to?
say, believe it or not, I'm going to stick with college football. The reason why I think to me, that there's still the most integrity behind the product. Even with the big teams, you slip up once, you're jeopardizing your whole season, right? So you're jeopardizing missing the playoff. Prior to this year, you were jeopardizing missing the Final Four. So college football to me is where the money's at. I just think each and every week you're going to get the best out of those kids.
Mhm.
Very rarely do you see teams like you're going, what the heck? They're not giving their full effort, right? And I like the
Yeah.
opportunity to take Monday through Friday and really put in the homework. Those lines come out Monday. You got 5 days
Yeah.
to really put forth the homework and circle 3, 4, 5 games that you love. So
Yeah.
college football, without a doubt, my favorite.
Okay.
Now, what's yours, Scott? I know your answer already, but
Oh,
what's your favorite sport?
I love both college football and college basketball by far. I love college baskets, to be honest. I mean, I've had an unbelievable season this year. Again, knock on wood, it's just been great. The key plays we've been putting out have been working really well, consistent. The name of the game, listen, we all know it. It's being consistent in money management. That's how you're going to be successful. I mean, we try to teach our players, but unfortunately, the audience we have, Troy, they want to gamble. And when it comes down to gambling and chasing, you're not going to be so successful at the end of the day. You both agree with that?
Yeah, these guys want to play
Yeah.
5, 10 games a day, man. You're not going to win betting 5, 10 games a day. If you want to bet a couple games a day, I could see that. But I'm sure you see it as well. These guys, when you talk to them, they want to play a ton of games a day, ton of
Yeah.
action. And
And it's crazy because if you're really in it, guys, think about it. If you're really in this to make money, you should be really limiting your exposure when it comes to playing a lot of games. If you're just in it to have fun, that's another story. Then you could do whatever you want. But just play smaller amounts. If you're spreading yourself thin, go spread yourself thin. But if you're taking it more serious where you're looking to run it like a business and try to make something out of it, you should be looking for the quality and sitting tight and just waiting for the right opportunities. You're not going to win every day. So if you take a hit, you sit tight, and you come back the next day. You don't just go chasing game after game throughout the day because that's how you can get destroyed real fast.
the worst thing you do is chase a loss, man. That's the worst thing you can do.
I agree. And
Well,
Scotty, I got to tell you,
yeah.
I had to do a little homework. The highest total this year
Okay.
was between the Brooklyn Nets and the Warriors. That was January 15th. The total was 247, and they ended at 250.
There you
But
go.
so your total tonight is that one you mentioned earlier between Memphis and the Pacers is the highest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like an all-star game kind of running and gunning kind of game, and
Unbelievable.
you got the weapons. Listen, both teams got the weapons to do that. They're fast-paced teams.
3-point
But
shooting.
250, man, that's a lot of friggin' points. I mean, they better
They'll
be.
probably do it.
They better be on.
They'll probably score 280 tonight. We're looking at
Yeah,
this.
it always amazed me to think if they,
Watch them score 200.
I mean, I'm
one little
watching.
small piece of action that you clank 3, 4 buckets in a row and you cash the under, right? I mean, that's got to be 4 quarters of high intense scoring. It's crazy.
I mean, these guys
Unbelievable.
launching threes. I watched
Yeah.
in the All-Star game. Steph Curry he's shooting half-court 3-pointers and making them. It's crazy.
Well,
It would be fun to see it go 130 to 118 and it goes under. That would be unbelievable.
yeah, could you imagine?
I'm not a total guy,
Oh,
but
my
if
God.
you guys want to win the over, I'll bet the under. So you guys get a winner. I'm not big on betting
Holy
totals.
smokes. I'm looking forward to clocking in at 7 p.m. tonight and seeing the final of that game. Holy
Well,
crap.
I know where I'm going to be tonight. I'm going to be watching that USA and Canada hockey game.
I
No
saved
doubt
you a
about
seat
it.
tonight. You want to watch
There
it?
you go. I'll be there with you. Hey, Troy, I really appreciate you coming on the show. You're the man. Well, you got a great service. You've been in the business a long time. We appreciate, you, like I said, you coming on today. I want you to let the audience know where they can find you because we are live, and hopefully some of the people that are watching us live will give your service an opportunity to get in on the great work that you do. How can they get a hold of you?
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, the website is troywins.com. We've got a big old pop-up that comes up. We're giving you 7 days free. Click that. That includes everything. Prop picks, VIP. There's no upsells, no gimmicks. We're going to give you 7 days free. Show
Wow.
you what the service is about. Or go to the Instagram. It's Troy West. Recaps there, free pick videos, contests, all sorts of stuff. The Instagram is It's Troy West. So I appreciate it, guys. Big time. Thanks a lot for having me today.
All right, my brother. Good seeing you and look forward to having you back on in the near future. We got Teddy waiting in the wings, and we appreciate you coming on and helping us out today.
Thanks, guys.
All
Enjoy
right.
the game tonight.
Yes,
Nice
sir.
talking to you, Troy.
Be good.
Thanks, TK.
All right. We got Big Teddy out there. Come on, Teddy. We were waiting for you. We got Teddy Brooks.
I'm gonna bring him in. Just keep talking.
All right.
Come on in, Teddy.
So, yeah, I mean, Troy's been around this business a long time.
I see him on the internet a lot. I'm going to follow him on Instagram here today, too, as well.
He's sharp. He knows his stuff. I mean, like anybody else.
I see some good reviews about him out there on the forums and whatnot, so I know he's a good handicapper.
Yeah.
And we're talking about March Madness coming up. I think it was a year or two we were in Las Vegas. You went on a hell of a run to March Madness.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I do like March Madness. I really do. And you know what the best part is? Following certain teams. Just trying to zone in on those teams. You can't zone in on everybody, but you got to zone in on the ones you feel good about. I think we got Teddy out there. Teddy, what's going on, brother?
What's happening, guys? Glad to see the internet's back.
What's going on?
Am
What's
I good or am I choppy?
You look pretty good on here.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Maybe a little close to the screen. Maybe you need to go back just slight. I don't know. What do you think?
I can. I think
Yeah.
it's a little zoomed. It's all good though.
What's going on, brother? Talk to me.
Man, I'm a little befuzzled because as you probably told everyone, we had internet issues. We thought that.
No,
it
we
was gonna
didn't.
be
We didn't.
out.
We didn't get into all the details, but
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm here now.
All right.
And I just want to, first of all, Scotty, just what you were just talking about, trailing certain teams, right?
Yep.
We got a team here because I'm just going to go right in the picks. I know we're pressed for time. We
Not
a
for
team
you.
here
We're
in
not. We're not pressed for time. Go right ahead.
Okay, cool. San Diego State. This is a team that I've been riding first halves on all year. I think they're ranked number 4 in the country right now in first half against the spread.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes just beyond the team. It's more of a number thing also. So when you have a team that's favored by 13, 14, 15 points, I don't like playing that full game number. I'll take a look at that team, and if they're strong in the first half, I'd rather get that 7 or that 8 in the first half
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot easier for a team to cover 7 in the first half than it is to cover 14 or 15 in a full game. So I'm loving San Diego, UC San Diego first half. Should be -7, 7.5, something like that.
You're talking about tonight.
Oh, yeah, tonight.
Okay.
You watching
And
hockey tonight, Teddy?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so excited, man. I heard you guys talking about it. I wish I could have been there to talk about it with you.
Come on out tonight, man. We're going to watch this game, man. It's going to be a great one here tonight. 8 o'clock Eastern start. We'll be up there watching it.
He's the
Save you a seat,
ambassador for the
man.
NHL, TK.
I tell you, I'm not an NHL player. you know what me. I don't really bet NHL, but I'm watching this game tonight. This hockey's got me pumped up over the
I think
last few
Gary
days.
Bettman sent them that blue shirt because he's been an ambassador for the NHL, pumping it away.
I'm sitting in Teddy's seat here today. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but I'm sitting here
Keep
today.
Keep it
I
warm
don't-
for me.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
I heard a goat run by here a couple of minutes ago. So
Teddy, what else are you looking at tonight? I'm sure you got more
So
than one.
I'm also actually liking TK's play. Tennessee Tech, small schools. I love it.
Right.
And then last but not least, Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky, it's a team that they've been covering and they've been getting the job done, but they're at home and they're just a team that I'm loving what I'm seeing with.
Okay.
Here's something I want to let you guys know, though. College basketball, and we probably already talked about this. We've been pounding SEC, right? Talking about it, bringing it up. I heard you guys talking about it.
Yep.
Did you guys see that Alabama-Missouri game last night?
Crazy, man. They had the coach come on the speaker say, "Don't storm the field, man, or field or the court."
Court? All right.
$250,000 fine last time.
Yeah.
He got on the microphone and said, "Guys, nobody's running the court here tonight."
Oh, after the game, you mean?
Yeah, they probably did it anyways. I didn't see it on TV, but I just saw the final
They,
score.
I'll tell you, Alabama didn't have a chance in that game. I mean, they came, cut it to 6 maybe or whatever, but every time they cut it down, the other team just ran it right back up. I mean,
Well, the
Bama,
most impressive part is that this SEC, anybody can beat anybody. I mean, they're just that tournament is going to be better than the tournament.
I don't even know if it's just the SEC.
Well-
Right now, any team can beat anybody in college basketball. You got little schools playing great ball against some of these bigger schools. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
what'd you think of the Arkansas Auburn game? That was a pretty damn good game. Arkansas game all they can handle.
I didn't even watch that one. I was focused on that Bama one because I had a big play on it.
Oh, okay. Did you win it?
But yeah, I did. I went over. How do you not? How do you not go over in that game? But yeah, just going back to that Western Kentucky, Sam Houston State.
What
they're
time's that
0-10.
game? What time's that game, Ted?
I think 7.
Okay.
They're 0-10 against the spread. Sam Houston at home. On the road, they really stink on the road. So I'm really loving this board tonight. I have a couple Saturdays also. I don't know if you guys are covering any Saturday.
Not
I'm
really.
Sorry, Friday.
No, we haven't really done one play I didn't mention earlier that I do like tonight in college basketball. Just so you guys know, I have a best bet going on UTEP, and I'm buying that line of 4.5 against Kenshaw State. I do like the dog in this game. I think that they can stay in that game and have a shot to win it. So I'm going to jump on that play in addition to the one I mentioned in the NBA with Denver. But I do like UTEP plus 4.5, buying it up, adjusting it against Kenshaw State. Go ahead, Ted.
That's a live dog. Kennesaw State.
Well, we're live, so we got to be a live dog.
There you go. Kennesaw State ranks 326 in turnovers per possession on offense.
Wow.
And UTEP ranks number 7 in the nation in turnover forcing. So
Okay.
that's going to be I'm loving that pick, Scotty. Loving it. I was looking at it. That's why I have notes on it already. I wasn't going to give it, but I have notes on it.
You know
Is
what?
that a good thing or a bad thing if he agrees with me,
Yeah,
TK? You got odds. I think you got numbers if Teddy and I agree.
Hey, last week I had Auburn, War Eagle, man. I took them out that game we had on the show.
There you go. I think Teddy and I went with Bama. but-
Teddy had the over, I think, in that
oh,
game.
yeah,
I
Teddy.
had the
Yeah,
over.
I
I think
lost.
I
That's
had
the only
the
game I
over.
lost last week. I went, I think, 2-1 on the show.
Hey, Scotty, last
yeah.
week you had Wisconsin, and I agreed
Yeah.
with you, and it was a winner.
That was a great
so
dog.
We're gonna be good.
TK likes them to win the whole entire tournament. That's one of his picks.
One of my outsiders. Good game
Strong.
tonight, too. USC against Maryland tonight. Maryland laying 12 against USC. USC
Maryland's playing good ball
yeah,
right
Maryland's playing good ball. USC ain't a shabby team themselves. They could probably hang in that game here
now.
tonight.
I don't know about that. I think if Maryland turns the Jets on, if they really want to really whoop them, they can blow them
Hey,
right
Teddy,
up.
before I go, we'll be on for another few minutes, but I was telling Scott I'm leaving to the Bahamas next week. Tomorrow. I get back next week. I made a reservation at Runway, so next week the wine's on you, and I get the dinner.
There you go.
I can't wait.
I'm still
cannot
waiting.
wait.
I lost like 12 pounds since the Philadelphia show.
I was waiting for
Guys, one
I was
more
waiting for a
game
gift
before
card
we
to
sign
come.
off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Marquette Villanova tomorrow. I think this could be. I don't know what the line's going to be set at.
You're in
As
and
long as
out.
it's-
Go ahead.
Marquette Villanova tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm not sure what the line's going to be set at.
The line,
But-
lines just came out. Let me tell you what it's going to be.
Marquette's at Villanova. I bet you they're about
Marquette,
7.5.
Marquette's favored 1 and 142.5 right now.
Really? Only one?
1 and
Yeah.
142.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was going to say 2. My number was Marquette -2. I'm taking them on the money line. They're 8-0 against Villanova, straight up and against the spread.
Yeah.
And they're 11-4 in their last 15 overall games. Villanova's 1-5 at home versus Marquette. Marquette's the better team. We were talking about earlier in a couple episodes ago, Scotty, Seton Hall and Marquette, how they're the top 2 teams.
No,
And,
St. John's. St. John's.
Oh, that's right, St. John's.
And
St. John's and
I'll
Marquette,
tell you
yeah.
what, I still think Rick Pitino, man, is going to be one in the running for Coach of the Year in college basketball. The way that team's playing.
Oh yeah, to take a team like that, to go from a
Yeah.
big name school to a small school like that, and do what he's done, absolutely
Yeah,
deserves
he's
it.
turned that program around less than a couple of years.
Another good game tomorrow night, though. Michigan State, Michigan. I see
That's a good game also.
Michigan State favored by 4 right now, 153.
Yep.
Michigan State just had a big win the other night, too.
Well,
so.
that's what makes college basketball and the NBA so special this time of the year, because you got some great matchups coming up. You're going to have the conference tournaments, which are going to be phenomenal, and then you go into the big dance, and then you got the second half of the NBA. I mean, there's just so much to look forward to. You got baseball, quietly coming around the corner, late March into April. So, I mean, I love this time of the year. I'm sure you I can't speak for you guys, but I'm sure you guys are loving it. The intensity levels go up. That makes our intensity levels go up, trying to figure out who's going to win these games and get the right numbers and try to take advantage of the mistakes out there that are, not out there that often. But that's what I look for.
Absolutely. Football's out of the way, and now it's time to just focus on less sports.
All right,
less
Teddy.
sports to focus on is better for us.
Teddy, I appreciate you coming on because I know you had some stuff going on today, and we appreciate you popping in. Where can the people find you and get all that great information? You've been on a little roll with your free stuff lately. I've been checking it out myself, hearing your videos. I know you're on a little run right now. Great, good for you. How can the people get in touch with you?
Yeah, go to my Instagram at _profits_pick, no S after pick, and the website, thesportsprofits.com, and the YouTube at The Sports Profits. 6-1. We were cold for a little bit before this run, so let's hope we keep it going for another couple weeks.
I see you had another imposter this week.
Well,
I just
don't get him
this
going.
morning.
Come on now. Leave him alone.
Hey,
He's
listen.
smiling. He's smiling. He's got his golf. He's going to go golfing right after he's done with us. Let him be.
wish.
Don't get him. Don't
wish.
get him upset.
No, I listen, if you're being imitated, that's a good thing.
That means they
Means you
like
do-
you. Somebody likes you out there, Teddy.
It means you're doing something right.
That's it. All right, man. Have a great day.
All right,
Make
guys.
sure you're in the studio with us next week, please,
I'll be there.
because we're going live. I think we're going to go live again next week. But
We got a special guest next week, too, I think you said,
Yeah.
As
right?
long as the internet's
Yeah,
good.
we
I'll
do.
see you boys later.
all right, guys. All right, Ted. Have a great day. All right. Well, there you go. We had a good show, man. We had Troy West. We got our boy Teddy came on and gave us some information. You gave some plays. I'm giving out some plays. I think it's time to wrap it. What do you think, Ben? How long we been rolling today?
It's a good show today. It's a good show today.
It
Yeah.
went by quick today.
First time we went live.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We appreciate you hanging in there with us because we got a lot of good stuff coming your way over the next several weeks. So just check in with us, watch the show. How can the people find you, TK, out there in the social media world?
They can find me social media. You can find me at TK Wins on Instagram. But the best place to find me, just go right to my website. That's my official site,
Okay.
tkwins.com. You get my plays there. We got live odds feeds up there. And like you said, the Instagram, too. You can see my daily stories, my free picks. Those are the two best places to check me out at.
And how's the free plays been doing lately?
Got a good another winning week last week in the free play. I think we're 1-2 so far to start this week. Got another one going here tonight.
Okay.
But free plays have been hot, week in and week out consistently for the last year or so.
That's the name of the game, people. Remember, consistency, money management, consistency gets you ahead.
It's
If you don't do it if you do it different ways than that, you're doing it wrong.
It's funny. You could win 6-7 games in a row in your free play. You lose one. You're like a sheep
Oh,
and
yeah,
a black
yeah.
sheep in the
Nah,
bucket.
don't even go there with the people. Yeah. I mean, guys, come on now. We think we're going to win every game. I mean, it's just about being consistent. If you're giving away free plays, don't forget when we give our free plays, we're giving them way, way in advance. We don't have all the time in the world to focus in on those games up to the minute like we do on our exclusive service, where we're going right up to about an hour or two before game time. So we have a lot more things working, a lot more criterias, a lot more due diligence, a lot more speaking to the people we speak to come up with those selections versus stuff that we're putting up almost 36 hours, at least 24 hours sometimes in advance.
A lot of stuff can happen from 10:30 to game time every day, man.
And we're not telling people to bet those games for like ranch money or anything like that. Everyone says, oh, I bet so much on these free plays. No, that's not what you're supposed to be doing, guys. You're supposed to be just enjoying the free plays, put a little something on them. If you can make some extra money, great. If you really want to get serious, you should contact all of us or any of us you want by reaching out to us. That's how we could really try to make it work for you. Anyways, That's it. I'm Scott Matthews. The show is Get the Edge. You can find me on my Instagram channel, which is SM Sports Picks. I'm putting out stuff daily. We were so hot for a while. We went 11-1 over a 12-game run. Then we dropped a bunch of games. Came back last night. I said Gonzaga would win by 16-20. Man, I was off. They won by 21. But they got the job done, and they won and covered. So we're looking at some big plays coming up. Check out the show. We're on all podcast forums. You name it, we're there. Apple, Spotify. Our own channel, Get the Edge, on YouTube. Remember, put in Get the Edge. You can watch everything we're doing there each and every time. And we'll be back here. Hey, it was great being live today with everyone. I hope we gave you some good advice and hopefully some good winners. And we'll be back here next week. Have a great day, guys. I think we went long.